A very good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you? Fine. Okay. How was the previous class? Science students, physics? Tell me. Can you understand well? What is your impression? Good? No response?
Good, sir.
Eh?
It was good.
Good. You can understand. Only for one person it is good. What about others? Nandana?
Yes, sir. It was good.
Eh?
It was good.
Good. Punya?
Good, sir.
Eh? What do you say?
It was good.
Good. You can follow it. No problem. Okay. Aditya? What do you say, man?
Sir, nice class.
Okay. So follow it. Go with it. Okay. So we will resume our early childhood. Let us go to our childhood. So the first page is over now. The author said glibly, if you don't have any work, the place is known as Annette. If you don't have a work, where you have to go? To school. Now you are not coming to school because you have enough work at home. Clear now? Clear now? You have enough work at home. That is why you are not going to school now. And the work at home will get less, then you will come to school. Okay. Next page. There is no school in my neighborhood. When they build one, I will go, sir. At present, in our village, in our area, in our neighborhood, there is no school. So I cannot go. I wish to go. I want to go, but no school. So whenever the municipality, whenever the panchayat, whenever the corporation build a school, then I will go. Then the author asks, if I start a school, will you come? I ask half joking. While he asked, he understood that he was asking a blunder. He is not going to begin a school. But he says, government did not start a school. My boy, Sahib, if I begin a school, will you come to my school? Yes, he says, smiling broadly. Of course, why not? I am ready to come to your school. A few days later, I see him running up to me, coming to me. After a few days, again I met him. So when he saw me, he ran towards me. And he asked, sir, is your school ready? Like people ask, is the noodles ready? Is the meal ready? We asked next day, sir, you told that you are going to begin a school. I am ready to come. I want to be the first student of your school. Did you begin? It takes longer time to build a school. It needs a longer time, I say. Embarrassed after having made a promise that was not meant. You see, Yesterday, who was asking to the heart patient, how are you? Somebody was asking to the heart patient, isn't it? On the during the morning walk. How are you, uncle? Are you all right? Like that here, the man simply asked him, will you come to my school? And the boy took it serious. Now he says, I made a simple talk, meaningless promise. You see, I wondered at having made a promise, underline, having made a promise that was not meant. One mark MCQ can come. Dot, 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 dot. Having made a promise that was not meant. If you don't read the textbook, you will not be able to know from which lesson it has come. Understand? So the author made a promise that was not thought of. But promises like mine abound in every corner of his bleak world. You see, but the promise, though it was I won't say meaningless, it was not really meant. A voluntary word came out of his mind. Elvina, a voluntary promise we make to Mama. Mama, I will bring next time 98%. Sometimes some people may ask, Annette, some people may ask, what will be your percentage in plus two? I don't, 99. 99. After that, you will realize I simply said a promise that is not meant simply came out of the mouth. Isn't it? Annette, isn't it? Simply came out of the mouth in order to satisfy the boy. Here the author, Elvina, here the author wanted to satisfy the boy. Time pass. When you travel in the train, people will bring, in the North India, people will bring uh, this groundnuts, kapaladi, groundnuts in the packets in the train. And in the train, people travel 1 or 2, 3 days continuously. So they get bored. So they would say, time pass muffily, time pass groundnut, time pass groundnut. A groundnut that is packed to pass the time. While you talk, you can eat. Shubham, isn't it? Time pass muffily. Okay. So, like that here, he wanted to pass the time, Ashish. He wanted to pass the time. Eh? For which he said, I will begin a school. But this was a spark. Pipri. This was a spark in the mind of the child. It burned there. It became a flame there. It began, Aishwarya, it began a fire. He wanted to go to school. Aditya, are you feeling sleepy? So, Aditya Satyan, do you want to feel sleep? Are you feeling sleepy? Okay. So, you see, but promises like mine abound in every corner of his bleak world, in his dark world, in his dark world. Achut, Papa says, Daddy says, Achan says, if you get 98% in plus two, one glamour will be given to you. Glamour means motorbike. Glamour will be given to you. And Achan knows Achut will not get a 98 and glamour is not to be purchased also. But still, it kindles a light within his mind. Glamour, glamour, glamour. It will boost. Am I right? When I open the book, the glamour will run over the book. In this way, the words of the author kindled a spark in the mind of the boy to go for learning, to go to school. After months of knowing him, I asked him his name. So he did not ask, he asked his name. He announces Sahib a Alam. You see, after a few days, after a few months, the author asked, by the by, my dear Chotu, my dear Chotu, my dear friends, what is your name? So as soon as the author asked his name, he stood aright and he said, my name is Sahib A. Alam. He announced, he proudly said, my name is Sahib A. Alam. If somebody asks your name, how will you say your name? Gayatri. What is your name? My name is Gayatri. Michael, isn't it? Michael. Michael. Hmm? We will speak, we will tell our name. Aparna. But here the illiterate, uneducated, poor boy announced, my name is Sahib A. Alam. The author has written there, he announced. Announced here means he proudly said, because he knew the meaning of his name. Nidhi. He knew the meaning of his name. Nidhi, do you know the meaning of your name? You see, I asked them, what is the meaning of your name? No answer. But if it is Sahib E Alam, within seconds he would say, yes, sir, my name is Sahib E Alam. Because we know that we are not fit to our name. Nidhi means treasure. Are you treasure of your parents? That's a problem, isn't it? What I would say, if you cannot fit your life to your name, either you change your lifestyle or you have to, eh? You have to change your name. No, that's all. That's all.
Change the name.
Change his name. So I think 98% students will have to change their 10th certificate. 10th certificate, Krishna. 10th certificate name should be changed. That much important importance is there, you see. He announces. He does not know what it means. He was proud of his name, but he did not know the real meaning of Sahib e Alam. We are like Sahib e Alam. Mama, Papa, Daddy, Mummy, Achan, Achir, no, Amma. Eh? Appan, Amma gave me a name. I don't know what is the meaning of my name. They gave me, they are calling me. Sometimes they are calling me Papu. They are calling me sometimes Kutta. Isn't it? Sahib e Alam did not know what his name meant. If he knew its underline, very important thing. Why I give all this importance to this? You have to underline the inner meaning behind these sentences. If he knew its meaning, if I knew the meaning of my name, I would have changed it. Am I right? If I knew the meaning of my name, I would have changed months before. If he knew its meaning of Sahib e Alam, what is the meaning? Ashisha, Sahib e Alam, Lord of the universe. In Malayalam, it is Sarveshwaran, Jagadishwaran, Jagatnathan. Means Devam, God, Lord of the universe. Sahib, Sir, Lord, a Alam of the universe. He would have a hard time believing it. Some of you are thinking now, Papa, Mommy, what did they think of me? If they knew me very well, they would have already changed my name, Aishwarya. What is the meaning of Aishwarya? Aishwarya, Aishwarya Yatra is going on, isn't it? Wherever I go, there should be Aishwarya. Prosperity. Is there? Is there? Wherever I go, Corona is going, isn't it? Okay, you see, this is the meaning. We have to relate each and every sentence with our life situation. That is literature. That is literature. You have to learn it. You see, if I knew its meaning, Lord of the universe, he would have a hard time to believe it, unaware of what his name represents, what his name meant. He roams, he walks around, roams, he roams the streets with his friends, an army of barefoot boys who appear like the morning birds and disappear at noon. This is the picture given to Sahib e Alam and his friends. Underline, roams the streets with his friends. Who are the friends? An army of barefoot boys, boys without chappals, boys without shoes, boys without sandals, barefoot, who appear like the morning birds and disappear at noon. Pravasis, migrating birds. For some time, we will be able to see them. After that, they may go. So, you see, Sahib e Alam means God of the universe. So, a God of the universe should sit on what? Krishna? A God of universe should sit on what? On a, where will God sit? On the, anyone? Where will God sit?
A throne,
Crown.
throne,
Throne.
throne.
Very good. Throne. God is the king of the universe. God is the Lord of, God is the Lord of the universe. God is the king of the universe. So the king should sit on the throne. Clear now? This much meaning is behind. So if Sahebi Alam understood his meaning, he should be such a highlighted person. But where is he now? He is with his friends. His friends are without shirt, without banyan, without shoes, without slippers, barefoot, only with a knicker, a trousers, a set of trousers, pair of trousers. Very poor children. And they come to the universe. They come to the world in the morning, early morning, and they will roam here and there. And by noon, they will disappear. They will go back. This is the nature of Sahib Alam and his friends. Over the months, I have come to recognize each of them. Slowly, slowly, I began to learn them. Learn them. Why aren't you wearing chappals? I asked one. So the other was on shoes. So he asked Meenakshi. He asked one of them, why don't you wear the chappals? If it was in France, another French revolution might have been started. Do you know, Gayatri, what is the cause of the beginning of French Revolution? Anyone? Rijas? Gayatri, can you tell me? How did the French Revolution begin? What was a particular incident on which the French Revolution began? Oh, sir, we did not study history, isn't it? And we studied only economics and politics. Ah, this comes in politics also. Rijas, anybody else? Anyone can say? Anyone?
Rise in price of bread.
Eh?
Rise in price of bread.
Grudge.
Bread.
I ask you particular incident. You see, a riot began. Riot began in our country or in the neighborhood. One person killed another person. From there, the families. From there, the communities. From there, the state, like that. You see, there was poverty in France during the time of King Louis. So poor people went to the king was a hand-picked king because king was sitting on the throne, execution by Mrs. Queen. So the poor people came to the king, told, we don't have food, we don't have bread, we don't have brown bread. Underline this brown bread, I will ask later at the end of the year. Brown bread. The word will come. This year itself, brown bread will come. Question number one. Doubt number one. At the end of the year, I will ask, what is brown bread? You can now search out. So they ask, we don't have bread. We want something to eat. So the Mrs. Queen replied those poor people, if you don't have bread, go and eat cake. Bread ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ പോയി തിന്നടാ കേക്ക് തിന്നടാന്ന്. Cake is costly, bread is cheaper. Clear now? From there, riot began. People rose against the king. That is converted into French Revolution. Clear now? So here, let us come to here. Come here, come here, come here. Here, if here the man asked, he is with the shoes. He asked the little poor children, why are you not wearing chappals? My mother did not bring them down from the shelf. One said, my chappals are on the top of the shelf. I could not reach. My mother did not take it out. He answers simply, how are you, uncle? Are you all right? Yesterday, you are thinking that yesterday simply told that simple example. How are you, uncle, to the heart patient, isn't it? And you are asking, are you all right? And the patient says, all right, I am all right. Here the boy said, my chappals are on the top of the shelf. I could not reach. Mummy didn't take and give me. That is why I am not wearing. The real thing means he did not have a chappal, pair of chappals. But he covered. Sometimes we also say something like that, isn't it? Eh? So some of you may say that, at home, I am using iPhone. It costs 95,000 rupees. So you may be using an old Nokia one, old Nokia, Ashwin, we may be using an old Nokia one or a small Samsung, 4,000, 5,000 rupees. But what we will say, yesterday my mummy ordered in Flipkart a new phone, 45,000, Anet, 45,000. Ordered. After 5 minutes, it is cancelled. Ordered, but it is cancelled. Like that, he said, my chappals are on the top of the shelf. Even if she did, he will throw them off. Adds another who is wearing shoes that do not match. On right leg it is white shoes, on the left leg it is black shoes. Clear now? All this shows poverty. They were poor people. When I comment on it, he shuffles his feet and says nothing. I want shoes, says a third boy who has never owned a pair all his life. That means all these children are very, very poor. Some children did not have chappals. Chappal, chappals, not chappal, chappals. If you say chappal, who will come? Ian Chappal will come from UK. It is a pair of chappals, a pair of sandals, a pair of shoes. There is no singular. Trousers. Very often at home, you say to your parent, or your parent also may say, you also say, where is my pant? And the pant evidence. Where is my pant? If you ask me pant, what I will give you, I will cut one leg of the pants and I will give you. Because you asked only pant, one leg. A pant, a pants becomes a pants when it has two legs. It is not pant. Don't say trouser. Kalasam, Malayalam, it is okay. In Malayalam, it is okay. In English, it is trousers. Another word there is scissor, scissor, scissor. If you ask the scissor, what will happen? Uncle will take a packet of scissors from his pocket and he will there give you to smoke. That is scissor. The cutting instrument is known as scissors. It has two legs. A grammar you studied here. Chappals, shoes, sandals, pants, trousers, pajamas, not pajama, pajamas. Clear now? Okay. Traveling across the country, I have seen children walking barefoot in cities on village roads. Village roads. That means that area about which we are talking about was the residential area of very, very poor children. It is not lack of money, but a tradition to stay barefoot is one explanation. Some of them say, one of them said it was on the top of the almirah, cupboard. Some say, sir, we have chappals at home, but it is our culture. It is our tradition that walk barefoot. I wonder If this is only an excuse to explain away the perpetual state of poverty, he understood that this is a permanent solution to keep aside the poverty. People want to cover up the poverty by saying such kind of excuses. I remember a story a man from Udupi once told me. I remember a story a man from Udupi once told me. As a young boy, he would go to school, past, go to school, comma, past an old temple, across an old temple where his father was a priest. You see, a young boy went to his school crossing a temple. And in that temple, his father was a priest. He would stop briefly at the temple and for and pray for a pair of shoes. 30 years later, I visited his town and the temple, which was now drowned in an air of desolation. Desolation. Desolation here means a destructive stage. Destructive stage. In the backyard where lived the new priest, there were red and white plastic chairs. A young boy dressed in a gray uniform, wearing socks and shoes, arrived panting and threw his school bag on a folding bed. Looking at the boy, looking at the boy, I remembered the prayer another boy had made to the goddess when he had finally got a pair of shoes. Let me never lose them. The goddess had granted his prayer. Young boys like the son of the priest now wore shoes. But many others, like the rag pickers in my neighborhood, remain shoeless. This paragraph shows a transition of a stage to the another stage. There was a time where there was a stage where there was a time where children, even the child of the priest, did not have a pair of shoes. But after 30 years, in the same place, the priest's son was wearing English medium dress, uniform, and shoes. Different color, different color, different color. Clear now? So that is the author wanted to show. The author wanted to show two extreme or two different financial situation: poor people and the rich people. Transition of one stage to the another stage. Okay. The rest we will see in the next class. Okay. Thank you.